Before the outbreak, I had stockpiled a huge amount of supplies. I watched on camera as my mother-in-law and husband, who'd abused me for 10 years, were fighting over scraps of food right in our house. And that was just the start of my revenge. I brought the herbal medicine to my mother-in-law. She took one sip and her face instantly changed. Slap.
Didn't I tell you to let it cool first?
But Mrs. Shaw, you said to bring it as soon as it was done.
How dare you talk back? Now go make it again. You're trying to hurt me on purpose.
I cleaned up the shards from the floor and walked out. Her cursing followed me from behind. Barren cow. Once outside, I burst out laughing, because this was the scene I experienced before I died. That's right, I've already died once. Back then, after being cursed at, I went to make the medicine again, humiliated. Then I went to the hospital for ovulation-stimulating shots. I was desperate to get pregnant. Because not long before, my husband had coldly told me that if I couldn't conceive again, the Shaw family line would end with him. He's the only son, the sole heir for 3 generations. A few days later, after shopping at the supermarket, I saw blood-covered freaks biting people everywhere. I rushed home to tell my family. They were also panicked. They sent me back out to grab more supplies. Obediently, I hoarded a lot. My husband suggested we let the mother and son from downstairs stay with us.
Their landlord is taking back their rented apartment. A widow and her orphaned son have it tough. We can look out for each other. Once the chaos is over, they can go back in.
Being soft-hearted, I agreed. But later on, I caught the two of them getting intimate in the bathroom. The obscene things they were saying were shocking.
When are you going to marry me?
Don't worry, I've already spoken with Dr. Evans. In a few days, her surgery is going to fail.
What good does that do?
Silly girl, once the surgery fails, she'll be so guilty she'll ask for a divorce herself. Then the house, the car, it'll all be ours.
Why would Dr. Evans do that for you?
He's my cousin. The eggs he took from her? Sold on the black market ages ago.
Victor, you're a genius.
Obviously. I'm doing all of this for you and our baby.
I was frozen in shock. So that 3-year-old boy, he was Victor's love child. He'd been lying to me for 3 whole years. I was furious. I grabbed a cleaver and started hacking at the bathroom door. All I wanted was to kill them. But I was weak and swollen from all the fertility shots. I couldn't break it down. Then Victor burst out and overpowered me. My mother-in-law ran over and started taunting me.
You barren hen! 10 years and not a single egg! How dare you try to kill my son!
Victor's being generous, just letting you stay.
They threw me into the storage room like a dog. Then the zombie virus broke out. With no one controlling the hallways, the zombies got in fast. Outside, zombies were howling. Panicked, the other woman had a terrible idea. Throw her out to the zombies. That way we save food. My mother-in-law and husband agreed instantly. The moment they threw me out, my heart turned to ash. A horde of zombies rushed at me. They pounced and started tearing me apart. Wave after wave of pain hit me, until I blacked out. When I woke up, I was back in the Shaw house, holding that bowl of hot medicine. That's when I knew. I'd been reborn. This time, I'll make everyone who hurt me pay. Every single one of them. I ran to the bedroom. I checked my bank account on my phone. All my salary went to Victor for the house and car. All these years, and I only had $10,000 to my name. No, I have to get all of my money back. The zombie outbreak is only a week away. Time's running out. Would have taken too long to sell the house or the car, so I thought of something else. Use Victor's personal info to get online loans. First, I reached out to a few online lenders. They needed personal information, and they'd only release the funds after real name and facial recognition verification. So I filled out the forms in a flash, grabbed my bag, and headed out. I headed straight for Victor's company. Of course, he was in a meeting when I got there. He came out with a scowl on his face.
What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at the hospital getting your shot?
Honey, need to pay the medical bill. Isn't the payment card tied to your info? Just expired out of nowhere. Had to come.
What do you need?
I just need to scan your face for confirmation. I pulled out my phone. Victor didn't suspect a thing. After all, he'd known me for years, always been as meek as a lamb. He'd long since let his guard down around me. So he just sat there with growing impatience, letting me wave my phone in front of his face to scan it. He'd blink or open his mouth when prompted.
Are we done here? Come on, I'm still in a meeting.
Chime. All the platforms showed the loans were approved and being processed. A wave of relief washed over me. I looked at him grateful. All set. Thanks, honey. Without a word, he just stood up and walked away. That's when I spotted a woman peering down the hallway. It was that other woman. So they were already hooking up right here at the office, and renting the apartment below ours. That had to be Victor's idea. Rather than getting mad, I smiled, turned, and left the office. On the way back, my phone buzzed. Checking it, the online loans had been deposited, a total of $5,200,000. Instead of heading home, I went straight to a real estate agency. I demanded to rent the penthouse in that luxury high-rise across from my place.
Nova, the penthouse is not available, but there's a fully furnished 4-bedroom, 2-bath unit on the 23rd floor. Would you be interested?
So I agreed. The agent showed me the place. The place was nicely done.
Nova, if you decide to rent, I can have the landlord furnish the other rooms too.
No, don't bother. This is fine. How much?
It's pay first and last, plus a deposit. That'll be $5,000 total. Of course, we do have some smaller, cheaper units available.
I'll put it on my card. I got the keys that same day. This high-end apartment had the typical 2 units per floor layout, which made it easier to secure. I found a company online to install security doors and windows. I had all the glass replaced with bulletproof grade material and installed heavy-duty security windows. Just to be safe, I also had an electric fence installed outside the security windows. Just press a button inside, and a high-voltage current will spread across it. The installer was confused, so I quickly explained. An elderly relative has paranoia. He's always worried something will get in. This is just to ease his mind. Right after I paid the deposit, my mother-in-law called. She started yelling at me the moment I picked up.
How long does it take to get a shot? It's dark out and you're still not home?
I'm on my way back. She hung up on me. She wasn't actually concerned about me. She just wanted me back to cook dinner. Sir, add a barricade and an electric fence at the elevator entrance, too. I'll add an extra $300 for labor. While they were working, I ordered 3 solar generators and a water purification system for same-day delivery. All rush orders. Scheduled for delivery and installation tomorrow. By the time I finished, it was already 7 in the evening.
So you decided to come back? The hospital called. You never showed up.
I ran into a classmate who had some trouble, so I went to help her out.
Help her. Do you have any idea how important IVF is to us? Do you want the Shaw family line to end with us?
I'm afraid some people are all talk.
I waited silently for them to finish. I'll go make dinner. I kept my head down and hurried into the kitchen. The next day I left early in the morning, and unexpectedly ran into the other woman, Yvonne, with her son in the elevator.
What's that smell in the elevator? Must have been a dog in here.
I couldn't be bothered with that other woman. But the construction crew was coming first thing in the morning. Time was tight. I walked out and straight into my new apartment. The workers got right to work. Since I paid them extra to hurry, they worked like lightning. I started ordering from the city's biggest online supermarket, Metromart Online. First, I bought 3 large capacity refrigerators and 3 chest freezers. Then, all the kitchenware. 50 bags each of rice and flour, and 100 bundles of dried noodles, 100 barrels of cooking oil. I also bought 20 boxes each of pasta, glass noodles, instant noodles, spicy river snail noodles, and fire noodles. That alone was enough staple food for years. I also got 50 pounds each of various grains and cereals, 20 pounds each of seaweed, wood ear mushrooms, all kinds of mushrooms, walnuts, goji berries, dates, snow fungus, longan, lotus seeds, and so on, plus 50 units each of all kinds of seasonings, sauces, including butter, sugar, hot pot base, and yeast powder. For milk, I chose 100 bags each of milk powder and goat milk powder, which saved way more space than cartons, 100 bottles each of beer, red wine, tea, coffee, and sparkling water. Now, these aren't survival essentials, but they help keep your spirits up. Then, daily necessities. You know, toilet paper and sanitary pads go fast. I got 500 of each, enough to last forever. I also got 100 units each of shampoo, body wash, soap, laundry detergent, and so on. For clothes, I didn't go crazy, just comfy and athletic stuff. A few sets of bedding, and that was plenty. Stocked up on a stack of towels, too. Skincare? Just casually grabbed 10 sets. Took over a dozen shopping carts to get it all. Grand total, $50,000. The second I placed the order, the supermarket called. I told them I was restocking, and they offered me a high-value voucher. I used the whole voucher to exchange for purified water. A full 300 barrels. After all that, I was wiped out. I lay on the couch with my eyes closed, trying to rest my eyes, and dozed off. In the afternoon, after buying a plane ticket, I called my mom. My mom is a retired elementary school teacher. After my father passed away, she's been living alone in our hometown. Mom, I'm pregnant. But the doctor says there are signs of a possible miscarriage. I didn't dare tell the Shaws. Can you come stay with me? She got worried right away and said she'd come immediately. I sent her the flight details I booked and added, Mom, don't waste any time on the way. I'll wait for you at the airport. Around 4 in the afternoon, the supermarket delivered. 2 big trucks showed up. A dozen workers made dozens of trips back and forth. Tomorrow is Monday. The zombie outbreak is on Wednesday. Time's running out. Before I knew it, it was almost 7. I had zero desire to go back to the Shaw house. So I called Victor. Work is sending me on a business trip for a few days. It was sudden. I'm already at the airport. On the phone, he just said, "Oh," flatly. To get back at them, I installed solar-powered security cameras all over the Shaw's house last night. As long as there's any light in the house, they'll keep running for a long time. I can't wait to see how those bastards die. The next morning, I picked up my mom at the airport. She came rushing out of the gate, loaded with bags.
Nova, what's going on? Why isn't Victor here with you?
Let's talk in the car, Mom. Once we were in the car, I said seriously, Mom, I'm not pregnant. Victor cheated on me. They want me to leave with nothing. And there's a major virus outbreak coming. 90% of people will die. You have got to stay right here with me.
All right, honey, I'm with you.
Once we settled into the apartment, my mom's a teacher, so she's super detail-oriented. She brought up 2 problems. First, waste disposal. The daily trash would just keep piling up. We couldn't just let it rot and stink up the whole place, so I hired a contractor. They installed a separate pipe that goes straight to the sewer. We also got a heavy-duty garbage disposal, so no matter how much trash we produce, it all gets ground up and flushed away. Second, veggies and meat don't last forever. We had to set up something sustainable. So we got all kinds of seeds for veggies and fruits that grow well on a balcony, plus all the gear for hydroponics. The balcony was fully enclosed with security bars, but there were still gaps. Sunlight got through, which was enough to power the solar generator and let the plants grow. Mom also bought a dozen chicks. We kept them in a big cage in the corner. Chickens lay eggs, eggs hatch into more chickens. It's a cycle that never ends. The chicken manure works as fertilizer for some plants. Talk about making the most of waste. Since I'd stocked up on beans, Mom got some brine. Now we can make tofu whenever we want. Same deal with jelly grass seeds for crystal jelly. And we can make bean jelly from sweet potato and mung bean starch.
Nova, even if this virus drags on for years,
It'll be hard for us to starve. That Tuesday, we went on a massive shopping spree for meat and veggies. We bought 2 whole pigs and froze them in several chest freezers. We got 100 pounds each of chicken, duck, lamb, and beef. Plus the smoked sausages and cured meats Mom brought from back home. Our stockpile was pretty impressive. For veggies, we only got kinds that last. Stuff like carrots, yam, lotus root, pumpkin, sweet potatoes. We also bought hundreds of pounds of eggs. I also ordered a few more generators for different needs, so we'd have enough power for cooking. After all, in the apocalypse, the natural gas won't last long. I also bought a lot of solar-powered lamps. They'll soak up the sun during the day and light the whole place up at night. I also bought a bunch of drones. I stocked up on chainsaws, axes, blades, rope, gasoline, solid alcohol fuel. I also bought a ton of medicine. Basically, I have medicine for every symptom I could think of. Then there's our entertainment. I stayed up all night downloading over 1,000 old propaganda films and tens of thousands of books onto 3 computers. By then, it was 5 in the morning on Wednesday. The zombies were going to appear in just a few hours. Mom used those last few hours to pickle several jars of vegetables. She said we people from the north can't live without our pickled vegetables. Mom, are you afraid?
as long as my Nova's safe, I'm not afraid of anything. If you hadn't married so far away in Ferris, I'd be with you every single day.
I'm not afraid either. As long as my mom is here, I can face anything. Mom looked a little down.
I told a lot of our relatives and friends, but nobody seems to believe me. A few even said they'd take me to see a psychiatrist.
Honestly, if I hadn't been through it before, I'd think I'd lost my mind too. After sunrise, the courier showed up. I handed him a few documents. Get these to this address as fast as humanly possible. About an hour later, my phone started ringing frantically.
Nova, have you lost your mind? You used my info to take out online loans? Who gave you the nerve?
The nerve? Who gave it to me? You did.
Nova, get your ass back here now!
Sorry, you won't be seeing me again.
So you want a divorce? Ha! If I don't sign, you get nothing.
Whether we divorce or not doesn't matter, because I'll be a widow soon enough. Victor Shaw, you should worry about your own online loans. The payment is due tomorrow. It's a full $1 million. Get ready. Then I hung up. After that, I started binging a show, and no matter how many times he called, I couldn't be bothered to even glance at it. I just wanted, when the zombies arrived, to make things a little difficult for him. Then, 10 o'clock hit. The outbreak was right on schedule. I stood on the balcony and looked down. The streets looked quiet. Too quiet, like the calm before the storm. Until a scream rang out in the distance. The crowd began to stir. Then, the woman in the middle of the road suddenly bared her bloody fangs and sank her teeth into the man beside her. The man screamed, collapsing to the ground in convulsions. People nearby tried to pull them apart, and a few more got bitten. After convulsing for a moment, the bitten would twitch and jump back up, charging at other pedestrians. 1 infects 10, 10 infect 100. Soon that intersection was covered in blood and severed limbs.
Nova, they're real zombies. Isn't anyone gonna do something?
Mom? The zombies will spread quickly. We won't last long. Last time, the government and military moved fast. They imposed a lockdown. But it was useless. The zombies spread too fast. People were stampeding towards supermarkets, tripping and falling all over. Supermarkets and pharmacies will be stripped bare in no time. With everyone panicking, the collapse of society will be incredibly fast. With that, I looked down and switched on the surveillance feed. Victor was pacing the living room, like a caged animal.
Victor, why aren't you going to work?
What work? That thing Nova actually went and took out online loans.
Let her die, then. Divorce her now. Let her drown in debt.
What debt, Mom? She used my name. No way. I'm gonna find her and drag her out. I'm going to kill that thing.
I couldn't help but laugh. These two have no clue what's happening outside, do they? Mom, hearing me insulted, was furious.
How can they be so despicable? I'm going to give them a piece of my mind.
Mom, their payback is coming. On screen, Victor was about to leave. Then, a woman's crying voice came from outside the door. Victor opened the door. It was Yvonne.
Victor, there are crazy people everywhere. They're eating people.
Yvonne took out her phone to show him.
It's true. I just filmed this.
Where's Leo? Let's go. We have to pick him up from kindergarten.
Mom, you need to get to the supermarket downstairs. Buy some food and drinks to stock up.
Mrs. Shaw stood frozen at the door for what felt like forever. Finally, she gave in, grabbed her wallet, and left. After we got married, I was almost always the one buying groceries. Now it's finally her turn to do it. But seeing how familiar Mrs. Shaw and Yvonne were, I lost my last shred of hope. So Mrs. Shaw knew all along. Right then, the property manager's loudspeaker sounded downstairs.
Due to the emergency, the complex is now under emergency lockdown. Only one person per household can go out for supplies daily.
The property management here is really on the ball.
Mom, no matter what happens, we can't go out. We wouldn't stand a chance out there.
I just called a neighbor. It's broken out there too. They didn't prepare a thing. They're just sitting at home waiting to die.
Right. That's how it was last time. The zombie virus broke out in hundreds of places across the country all at once. It was downright bizarre. Even by the time I died, the outside world still hadn't figured out what caused the zombies.
Nova, don't talk like that. This time we're going to make it. Victor's mom is back.
On screen, she dropped her things, collapsed on the couch, and panted heavily. Then Victor and Yvonne came in with Leo.
Come look. I went through hell to get this. Look at the formula I fought tooth and nail for our Leo. And some instant noodles.
A while later, Mrs. Shaw happily headed into the kitchen to cook. She must have emptied the entire fridge. 4 dishes and a soup. Quite the feast indeed. The Shaw family wasn't in the habit of stockpiling food, because Mrs. Shaw was extremely health conscious. She said buying fresh daily was the healthiest. All these vegetables were leftovers from what I'd bought.
Don't worry. Didn't they say on TV? The government will step in.
Exactly. But I'm hoping it gets even worse. Best if that thing Nova and all those online lenders die out there.
You used to say she was honest. Look at her now. Who knew she could be so cunning?
We should have kicked her out of the Shaw family sooner.
The family was having a grand old time, eating and cursing her out. My mom was furious and started yelling.
What kind of people are the Shaws?
Mom, look at all the stuff they bought. It won't last 2 days. From what I know, their neighborhood's already lost control. The next day, zombies broke the main water valve. A water outage was right around the corner. I spent all of midday watching the chaos unfold. In the afternoon, my mom went to cook. She made my favorite hearty stew using her hometown recipe. I ate 2 huge bowls. Even in this chaos, having all these supplies and eating my mom's cooking made me feel truly blessed. After a short nap, it was already dark. I heard noise outside and peeked through the curtains. The neighborhood across the street was overrun by zombies. Several bloody zombies crashed through the main gate. The guard, bitten and convulsing by the gate, soon jerked back up and joined their ranks. Soon, screams came from the building across the street, probably neighbors who risked going out to grab supplies. In the video, Yvonne jumped up from the couch in fright.
Victor, what's happening out there?
Victor peered through the peephole for a long moment, then turned back.
The family across the hall got bitten, Yvonne. We are not going out. Don't you dare.
I'm terrified. Thank God you're here.
I'll always protect you.
Victor gave her a kiss. This couple made me sick to my stomach. I shut it off. That night, the zombie roars outside grew much louder. Even with the windows shut, the noise pierced right through. My mom usually goes to bed early. She put in her earplugs and went to rest. Since I'd napped earlier, I just stayed up in the living room and browsed online. Started by checking the major sites and social media. Then caught up on the news for a bit. Then streamed a show. Didn't put in my earplugs and crash until 2 or 3 in the morning. The next morning, I wasn't even fully awake when I smelled fried eggs, opened my eyes, and saw my mom had already made breakfast. My absolute favorite. Soft-boiled eggs with clear noodle soup. The vibrant green onions on top looked mouth-watering. After eating, I checked the latest news. Things were way worse than yesterday, but many people were still holding their posts. Doctors, firefighters, police, community workers. They were fighting to hold humanity's last line of defense.
Doesn't really help much, does it?
The zombies are spreading way too fast. Besides hoping the scientists come through, there's no other way. Right then, the phone rang. I picked up. It was the security guard downstairs.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, do you have any fever medicine for kids? A child on your floor suddenly has a fever. They want to go out, but with how things are outside. I've asked many households, and they all said no.
Let me check.
I can come get it in a bit.
No need. Just give me her apartment number. I'll send it over by drone. In a situation like this, you gotta be extra careful. Opening the door isn't just dangerous. It risks exposure. I found 2 boxes of the right medicine. I put them in a bag and hung it under the drone. I flew it out through the gap I'd left open on the balcony. On my phone screen, I saw the young mother. She looked to be in her 20s. She mouthed "thank you" to the drone. It reminded me of the day I moved in. I saw her by the elevator. She was holding a 1-year-old child at the time, teaching the kid to call me auntie. After all, I'm a woman who can never have kids. The doctor said my chances of getting pregnant naturally are next to none. After the drone came back, I found some chocolate in the bag, and a note with 2 lines written on it. Thank you, kind neighbor. I hope we all make it through this. Yeah, let's hope so. Suddenly, a persistent banging sound came from downstairs. I went out to the balcony to look down. The sight made us gasp. Outside the neighborhood gate, dozens of zombies had gathered. They seemed to have caught the scent of human flesh inside. They were frantically slamming against the iron gate, trying to break in. A man's voice came from somewhere downstairs.
Get lost. Get lost. Come back and I'll take you all on, you bastards.
After that outburst, the zombies started banging on the gate even harder. The pounding was terrifying. I immediately called the property manager. Please notify the residents and tell them not to act rashly. As long as we stay inside, they can't get in. The man didn't make another sound. After banging away for what felt like forever, the zombies outside took off after a few people on the street. The immediate threat was gone. For now. Because I figured most people in this neighborhood didn't stock up much. To avoid starving, they'd risk going outside, not to mention those with family members who couldn't get back. They'd probably risk going out to search for them. So this place is gonna fall. It's just a matter of time. That's why I refused to join the neighborhood chat group, and kept my distance from them. If anyone found out about my stockpile, I'd be public enemy number 1. I wouldn't be able to protect Mom or myself. This situation continued for 2 days. Besides the zombies roaming the streets, there were hardly any survivors left. Every day, hordes of zombies would swarm and slam against the neighborhood gate. But the complex where the Shaw family lived was in even worse shape. One night, I saw a family of 3, over a dozen stories up, get trapped by zombies and jump. Their bloody bodies attracted countless zombies. Soon, they twitched and jerked back to life, then scurried away. The Shaw family, for now, was still alive. They were cooking instant noodles, frying eggs, getting by. Except they were completely out of food and water. The next day, except for Leo getting a bowl of milk, they had absolutely nothing to eat. Yvonne went into the bedroom and made a phone call. That afternoon, she actually quietly opened the door and went out. I kept watch with my drone. I saw that she went back to the apartment she was renting on the 22nd floor. Soon enough, a man slowly made his way up to the 22nd floor too. I immediately sent the drone after him, and this is what I saw.
Yvonne, I risked my neck to bring you this food. Can't you at least let me see Leo?
I told you we're done. We're divorced. I have custody of our son.
You bitch. Are you gonna bring him or not?
You're just a delivery boy. I don't want him to have a father who's such an embarrassment.
What she didn't know was that her voice was so shrill, it attracted a lone zombie in the stairwell. The zombie charged at them. Yvonne spotted it. While he was distracted, she shoved him right toward the zombie. The zombie grabbed him and sank its teeth in. As the zombie was on him, Yvonne seized the moment and ran upstairs. I had the drone take several close-ups of the man. He was the spitting image of Leo. That's his real father. After that, I brought the drone back and extracted the video footage. In the surveillance video, Yvonne was gasping for air. She had already returned to the 23rd floor. Victor heard the commotion and came out to see what was going on.
Yvonne, what's wrong?
I went downstairs to get some food.
Then she gave the food to Victor. But I had to cut in right then. I opened my messaging app and sent the video from earlier to Victor. Victor picked up his phone, and a moment later, his face turned as dark as a thundercloud.
Yvonne, is Leo really my child?
Of course.
Victor shoved the phone in her face, showing her the video.
Then who the hell is this? Tell me, who is he?
Victor, please, let me explain. He's my ex-husband, but the child is really yours.
Still lying to me?
Victor snatched up Leo, who was screaming in terror.
Look at this face. It's a dead ringer for the zombie in the video, and you say he's my son?
Yvonne opened her mouth to make an excuse, and Victor slapped her across the face. He pummeled her a dozen more times, cursing viciously.
You lying bitch! How dare you trick me? Mom, come help me!
Mrs. Shaw, who'd been eavesdropping inside, came rushing out. The two of them opened the storage room and threw Yvonne and Leo inside.
That woman is pure evil. I had a feeling something was off.
I never thought she could sink this low. If Nova hadn't clued me in, I'd still be clueless.
Nova, where is she?
She must be around here somewhere, otherwise how would she have gotten that footage?
Come to think of it, even though Nova can't give you kids, she at least pulls her weight around the house. If she were here, we could send her out to run errands for us.
Sigh. I'll try to get her to come back. She's dying to come back. She's just too proud to say it.
Sure enough, my phone rang. Hello?
Nova, where are you? Just come back. I'll let it slide.
You'll let it slide? Yeah, but we had a deal about the online loans. You're paying those back yourself. Doesn't your mom have savings? And her house is worth something too. I see. I let out a cold laugh and hung up. On the video, Victor was panicking, running around the house, checking everything. I put down the phone. I looked at Mom in the kitchen, her face full of worry. Mom, I'm starving. What's for dinner?
Your favorite crispy fried pork.
These past few days, Mom's been cooking up all sorts of delicious meals for me. We've got plenty of food stored up anyway. No worries about running out. After dinner, I went back to the balcony to watch the zombies. Their numbers were growing fast, the slightest sound anywhere, and they'd bare their teeth and charge, full of fight. I did a quick estimate. If I were out there fighting them, I probably couldn't take a single one. Take yesterday morning, I flew the drone over to a nearby school. It had already been overrun. The playground and classrooms were crawling with zombies covered in filth and blood. The zombies seemed even louder at night, but I was actually getting used to it. After a while, the noise actually made me sleepy. 2 days later, our apartment complex fell. To be fair, our complex had been managing pretty well, but they couldn't hold out against wave after wave of zombies. Countless zombies flooded in. They tore the few guards at the gate to shreds. They continued sweeping up the building. I was a little shocked and immediately called Mom over. Look, did the zombies level up or something?
More like they mutated. Will they make it up to the 23rd floor?
They will, but don't worry. We've got double protection, plus an electric fence at the door. Sure enough, it wasn't long before we heard zombies growling right at our door. It sounded like they were right outside. I stood guard at the door, alert. Only when the sounds faded did I finally relax. By the time evening rolled around, water, electricity, and gas had completely collapsed. They were gone for good, just as I'd figured. The young mom next door texted me, "Are you guys okay? Do you need water? I still have a few jugs at home." After talking it over with Mom, I sent over a box of solid fuel via drone, plus 2 small solar power banks and 2 solar-powered lamps. That should solve her cooking, communication, and lighting problems. It wasn't for any grand reason. I just felt bad for her kid, a kid that young. If he loses his mom, he won't make it either. The young mom was incredibly grateful when she received them. This solves a huge problem for me. I don't know what to say. I played it cool. It's nothing. I had some extras. Of course, I wouldn't reveal what I really had. That's the law of survival in the apocalypse, right? I was in a pretty good mood these past few days, because the Shaw family across the way was having a rough time. They were starving for 2 days straight. Other than a few mouthfuls of dry milk powder each day and a few sips of water from a bucket in the bathroom, they had nothing else.
Mom, I'll try to go out and find us some food.
Victor was a typical mama's boy. He had no sense of responsibility. He said several times he'd go out to find food, but he'd get scared by the zombies at the stairwell and run back. Mrs. Shaw steeled herself and said she'd go instead. She was old anyway, so it wouldn't be a big loss if she died. Victor agreed right away. Mrs. Shaw grabbed a cleaver and shakily stepped outside. Her luck was terrible. She'd just gone down the stairs when a zombie lunged at her. She was so terrified she flung the cleaver away. Incredibly, it flew straight and lodged in the zombie's head. But that did nothing to stop it. Mrs. Shaw turned and ran for her life. She barely made it back inside, just seconds to spare. A close call. Mother and son were still shaken to the core. They knew they couldn't hide in there forever. So they hatched a plan. Find a scapegoat to lead the way. They opened the storage room that had been sealed for 2 days. Inside, Yvonne and her son were barely hanging on. Hearing the commotion, Yvonne forced her eyes open. Her eyes pleaded desperately, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. Victor grabbed her son and tossed him to Mrs. Shaw. Yvonne's eyes widened in terror, but Victor just kicked her aside, so Mrs. Shaw dragged Leo out. At the stairwell, she shoved the unconscious Leo out. The zombies grabbed Leo and started tearing him apart. Mrs. Shaw fled in a panic, rushing downstairs. I watched her charge down floor by floor. She got lucky. She made it down several floors without a hitch. But when she reached the 13th floor, a sharp scream echoed through the hallway.
Help me, Victor!
No doubt about it. She'd been bitten. When Victor heard her cries for help, he hid behind the door, trembling. He had no intention of saving her. Her screams went on and on before finally fading, eventually replaced by the growls of a zombie. That old hag who oppressed me for 10 years, who called me a barren hen. She's finally dead. It felt good, but not good enough. She wasn't the only one who wronged me. Every time I close my eyes, I can still see them tying me up and throwing me to the zombies. That bone-deep pain and terror. I'll never forget it. Victor covered his face and sobbed.
Mom! Mom!
I was speechless. When it was time to go out for food, why didn't he remember he had a mother? He's strong, but he wouldn't go, and got his own mother killed. And he has the nerve to cry? Nothing but crocodile tears. So fake you can't even look at him. I watched for a while, then suddenly felt something was off. In the darkness behind him, a black shadow seemed to appear. The shadow lunged forward and sank its teeth deep into his thigh.
Give me my son back.
Give him back! Victor couldn't get rid of her. He grabbed something off the table and smashed it into her head. After about a dozen blows, Yvonne went limp and collapsed. Blood gushed from Yvonne's head. Victor stood there, stunned, for a long moment. After a while, he dragged Yvonne into the storage room like a dog. I wandered into the kitchen. My mom was making braised pork. Mom, before all this happened, how many years has it been since we lived together?
Yes, after you graduated college, you married into the Shaw family. You only ever shared the good news, never the bad. If it weren't for all this, I'd never know how much you've suffered.
Mom, it won't be hard anymore. Those scumbags will get what they deserve. My mom smiled. After dinner, I made a pot of herbal tea. Mom and I sat on the sofa watching the news. Ever since the water and power in our complex were cut off, Mom and I came up with a new rule. Even though we have plenty of electricity, to avoid attracting attention, we don't turn on the main living room light at night. We keep the TV volume low too. The network signal is really terrible now. It keeps cutting in and out. There's no real-time news anymore. Just a robotic female voice on repeat, telling everyone to stay home and wait for rescue. No one knows when help will arrive. The government does send supply drones every day, but the success rate isn't high. Even if you survive, you're stuck without power, cut off from the outside world. People like us, who hoarded supplies, are in the minority. I thought optimistically, once all the zombies starve, we'll be free, right? Before bed, I checked the surveillance feed again. Victor was just like before, slumped motionless on the couch. Not sure if he's lost his mind or just starving. But even in that state, he still doesn't have the guts to go out and find food. What a spineless coward. I just turned off the screen and went to sleep. With the zombies roaring outside, I fell into a deep sleep. Didn't even need earplugs. When morning came, my phone suddenly rang. The ringtone jolted me out of my sleep. Ever since the zombie outbreak, no one's called in a long time. It was an unknown number. I answered. Hello?
Nova.
Just 2 words. My skin crawled. It was Victor. As I stayed silent, he slowly spoke up.
I know where you are.
I checked the apartment. I was sure I'd closed the windows. And with the barricades so dense, he shouldn't be able to see inside. He continued.
You've been watching me every single day. You installed so many cameras in this house.
My heart tightened. I instinctively looked at the other phone. His eerily pale face filled the screen. He was grinning, a truly creepy smile.
Nova, you're on the 23rd floor across the street, aren't you? I can see your curtains. You always leave a crack in the curtains when you sleep. You said you're scared with no light at all. That's the one with the crack in the curtains. You sure know how to pick a spot?
Just then, my mom pushed the door open.
Sweetheart, want a fried egg?
Living the good life, huh? I'm coming to find you right now.
Victor, if you use that courage to hurt people on the zombies instead, your mother might still be alive. You're such a coward.
You finally spoke. You did this to me. You did this to me.
You did this to yourself. If you had any brains or humanity left, you wouldn't have turned into a rabid dog.
I'm coming to find you. I'm coming for you.
You think you're worthy? The most you can do is bully someone weak and useless like Yvonne. Would you dare to fight the zombies outside? A low IQ, low EQ person like you would get scammed even when cheating. How does it feel to raise another man's child? All you've got is a big mouth. Do you have no self-awareness? Does a person like you deserve to have a child? That's right. I wanted to force him out. Starving to death at home like a dog is too good for him.
I won't let you get away with this.
I thought he'd storm out, but instead he ran into the kitchen. Seconds later, he charged out with a cleaver. Then he dragged Yvonne out of the storage room. Then he turned to the camera and raised the cleaver and started hacking at Yvonne over and over. Yvonne, who had been dazed, screamed in agony. Blood splattered everywhere, but she was too weak to escape. After a few chops from Victor, she lay motionless. Looking at the bloody corpse on the camera feed, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Victor turned his head slightly toward the camera. He grinned, a sinister, ghostly smile. Then, something even more twisted happened. He held Yvonne and started devouring her. Blood covered his face and mouth, and he looked like he was enjoying every bite. Compared to the mindless zombies outside, he's the real devil.
I won't starve. I won't starve.
He stared at the camera, mumbling incoherently through mouthfuls of flesh.
You're scared now, aren't you?
Disgusted, I let out a furious laugh. Scared of you? Go ahead, eat Yvonne's corpse. I've recorded all of this. Even if you manage to survive until rescue, I'll expose you. You don't deserve to live. You may be a freak, but you're still useless. Only picking on the weak. You're not even a real man. Go to hell. Every word I said was a knife, stabbing deep into him. Already unhinged, he started screaming, like a crazed monster. Finally, he grabbed the cleaver, yanked the door open, and charged out. That bastard is finally out the door. No doubt about it. The excited roars of zombies echoed through the hallway, mixed with Victor's howls of agony. Hearing that, a faint smile touched my lips. I'd never felt such joy before. This man, who had committed countless sins and caused so much suffering, was finally dead. True karma. He's dead. But I knew he'd soon start twitching, then join the zombie horde to continue his rampage. I let out a sigh and turned around. Only then did I realize my mom had been standing behind me the whole time. Mom. Victor.
He won't hurt you anymore.
My mom and I stood together, silently watching that scumbag lying in a heap downstairs. Strangely, a full minute passed, and he still showed no reaction. Was he not even qualified to become a zombie? Just then, my phone buzzed. I picked it up and looked. It was a message from the young mother next door. Nova, the zombies downstairs are acting weird. She must have noticed Victor's unusual state too. I reassured her. It's okay, let's just keep watching. A moment later, she sent another message. He's still using his phone. I looked through my binoculars. He actually opened his eyes. He's still on his phone. My mom gasped in shock.
Nova, look at your phone.
My phone rang. I reached out and answered. The devil's voice came through.
Nova, I'm coming for you.
He charged into the stairwell, moving as fast as lightning. I was stunned. What the hell was he? Did he have a natural immunity to the virus? Or had he already mutated? I took a step back and shouted, Mom, check all the doors and windows again. I shot a message to Chloe. No matter what you hear, don't come out. Get inside, lock the doors and windows tight. Don't you dare come out no matter what. I turned on the surveillance at the door. The camera gave me a clear view of a short section of the hallway, and the fire escape. I'd locked and welded that door shut with steel plates long ago. If he was human, he'd have a hard time getting in. Not long after, came the growls of zombies from outside the hallway. I kept my eyes glued to the screen, afraid they'd break down the hallway door, but after a long wait, the noise never grew louder. Instead, a faint rustling came from behind me. Something was wrong. I was sure I'd locked all the windows tight. So why was there still noise? I slowly turned my head. I was horrified to see Victor Shaw, covered in blood, standing right outside the living room security bars.
Found you, honey.
In that instant, I understood. He absolutely could not be human. He mutated, ate human flesh, ate zombies. He got bitten by zombies and mutated.
You bastards, how dare you hurt my sweetheart? I'll fight you to the death.
Outside the window, Victor Shaw grinned. Then he started prying at the security bars. Those things were built like a tank, yet they were bending right before my eyes. I reached out and pressed a button on my phone. The security bars crackled to life with sparks. A high-voltage current surged through the electric fence. Victor Shaw screamed in agony. I hit it again, cranking up the current, until finally, under the surge, he toppled backward and fell.
Is he dead?
I turned off the fence and went to check, but from this angle I couldn't see his body at all. Honestly, I don't know. He's not normal anymore. He's got the lingering mind of a human, but the body of a zombie. How terrifying is that? Mom, don't be afraid. If he comes back, we'll just zap him again. It's not like we're out of juice. Just as expected, 2 minutes later, Victor Shaw was back, right outside the security bars. He was just standing there, grinning.
I found you.
I slammed my finger down on the shock button. Another high-voltage blast. This time he lasted a bit longer. 5 whole minutes before he dropped. But 3 minutes later, he showed up again. I cranked it up to the highest setting. This time, I'm gonna finish this freak for good. His whole body writhed in the air, but he still held on for a few minutes before finally dropping. Just die! Die already, damn it! I was screaming, my forehead slick with sweat. It took me a minute to catch my breath and calm myself down.
Nova, the power bank's on its last legs. Just 1 bar left. It won't be enough.
I let out a sigh. I don't think he's coming back. But I underestimated the bastard. 2 minutes later, that climbing sound came from below the window again. I gritted my teeth. I pulled 2 canisters of gasoline from the cabinet, popped them open, and poured it all out. Then I lit a match and threw it. Whoosh! Victor Shaw went up in flames. A giant fireball. He can't feel pain, but he's still flesh and blood, so his body twisted violently as it burned. This time, it lasted a minute at most before he crashed down. This time, he's gotta be dead. I looked at my phone. There was a text from my neighbor, Chloe. Do you need help? I didn't reply. Why drag her into this? It's got nothing to do with her. We waited forever. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe half an hour. When you're on edge, time is just a number. Just when we thought he was done, that familiar sound came from downstairs again. Mom and I looked at each other. The same despair was written all over our faces. Yeah, no more juice and the gasoline's all gone.
Sweetheart, even if it means dying, I'm not afraid.
Just killing a scumbag. We can do this. I picked up the axe, and my mom grabbed the cleaver. We stood firm by the window, waiting for the scumbag to appear. Finally, the sound was getting closer and closer. A head, burnt black and charred like coal, emerged. We screamed, axes swinging, cleavers hacking at him. His skin and flesh were incredibly tough. It really had turned to charcoal. We hacked off chunks of black ash and flesh, but we didn't inflict any serious damage. His mouth gaping open, pitch black, he bit into the security bars and yanked. This time, his strength was immense. He quickly tore open a gap wide enough for a person. We were about to be overrun. My mom charged forward. She wanted to take him down with her. I held onto her tightly. "Mom, don't go. If you die, I won't survive either." Just as we were beginning to despair, a drone came buzzing overhead. It was the one I'd left at the neighbor's house a couple of days ago. Hanging below the drone was a bag full of solid fuel. It hit me, my hands trembling. I struck a match and threw it at the bag. The match ignited the fuel. The whole bag dropped with a thud onto Victor. Victor was instantly engulfed in a ball of fire. Quick as lightning, I threw out the battery and power bank, and they exploded. After that, we stood there catching our breath, eyes glued to the window. For a long, long time, at least an hour, he never managed to climb up again. Still uneasy, I got the drone and used its last bit of power to fly it out. As the drone descended, I could clearly see the streaks of blood from his climb on the building's exterior. Finally, downstairs on the sewer manhole cover, we found Victor's remains. Just a pile of charred bone fragments, barely recognizable as human. We made it. Mom and I hugged each other, crying tears of pure joy. I sent a message back to Chloe. "Thank you. You saved our lives." She replied right away. "You gave us the alcohol. Good karma comes to good people." I looked out at the still blue sky, then down at the chaotic streets below. Suddenly, I felt a weight lift. We will get through this. We will survive. After the new year passed, with the help of rescue workers, Mom and I finally left the apartment complex. By then, few people in our building had survived. There were only 4 of us left. That's right. Me and Mom, the young mother next door, and her adorable 2-year-old. With the network down, we were completely cut off and had no idea what was happening outside for a long time. But our country and government hadn't given up on us. We'd received 2 radio messages telling us to wait patiently. We finally made it out. As we exited the building, a rescue worker said the country had invented a weapon against the zombies. Most were already gone. The rest were herded out to the outskirts and bombed. In a city this size, only a few hundred survived. We'd all board planes to the safe zone. After staying there a while, we'd head to humanity's new home. The mother next door, holding her child, smiled at me.
"Quick, say Auntie Nova, say Grandma."
"Isn't it Auntie?"
"From the moment you saved us, you became his mother too. We're family now."
She smiled. I reached out and took the adorable baby in my arms. That instant of softness melted my heart. I held him close. All that loneliness and fear just vanished.